We got like two different styles going on.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, I'm going to a thing after, so I'm like, I had to wear my dress shoes for this.
Cool. No, it looks good.
I know. Usually I'm in shorts though. Usually I'm in shorts.
Oh, dude,
and
I never wear pants.
Really? Yeah.
Never wear pants. Rolling?
Yes, sir.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the No Script Podcast. Today, it is my pleasure to introduce a tattoo legend in the space who has tattooed probably one of your favorite, a long list of entertainers in the entertainment space. You have a wide variety of people.
A little bit of everything.
You've had the pleasure of working with. Please welcome, you want to go by ROCKROLLG?
It's ROCKROLG. What's up,
ROCKROLG,
everybody?
baby.
Happy to be here, man. Thank you,
for coming.
Kia. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir, dude. I'm so excited to have you. Tattoos have been something I've always been curious about. I have one myself, but never truly got into that world, you know, like.
And I assumed you had no tattoos, so it's crazy that you do have one. How was that one for you? Was that painful? Do you remember the experience?
Yeah, it was interesting because there was different like levels to my tattoos coming from a Middle Eastern background. Not having, I don't think anyone in my family that had previously had a tattoo. So that was the first thing, was like getting the okay to get it done, because it was right when I turned 18 in high school.
Okay, and that was my next question was, did you do it, behind your parents' back? Did your family knew about it then, right?
So they knew about it.
Cool.
They found like they did research. They're like, this is an award-winning shop, cleanliness was the biggest thing for them.
Of course.
And in terms of like, I wanted it done. I kind of spoke to them. They were like, I told them the meaning, told them this is what I want. This is why I want it. And then they were all for it. So, I mean, in terms of painfulness, needles are my biggest fear. I have a phobia of needles.
Sure.
To the point I haven't had a blood test in years. Last time I did, I passed out looking at the needle.
I believe it.
And so like getting this done, thankfully it's a little different in terms of like a blood test needle and a tattoo needle. So I pushed through it. Painful, not really.
No, but that's cool that you were honest with your parents, because, you see that today where everyone gets tattooed behind their parents' back. I mean, I got my first tattoo behind my parents' back. So that's cool that they were supportive. They did their research. That's the right way to do it. Because in today's time, anybody could buy an Amazon kit and you can get tattooed tomorrow, by your friend, which is cool. I get the experience, but for your first one, I definitely think you should take your time with it. And, if you're newly turned 18, take your time, ask your parents, take your time. Don't rush it.
Yeah. What is an Amazon tattoo kit? That's a thing.
When I first started tattooing, I've been tattooing about 14 years now. I started tattooing straight out of high school. And when I first started, tattoo supplies weren't available. You didn't have access to them. You'd have to be a professional shop, or you'd have to be a professional, work in a shop. Even to order supplies, they would have to be delivered to a tattoo shop. So, tools and supplies were hard to get at that time. Now you're asking, what's an Amazon tattoo kit? It's just a cheap kit that comes from overseas. It's just bad quality stuff. Not to say that you can't, do amazing things with these tools, but yeah, there are these tools that are available that you can start tattooing today.
How similar is that to like I want to say like a jail, like the pen and the.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, I'm glad you asked that. Thankfully, it is a big difference. That's what I'm saying. Okay, they're cheap when it comes to, they're the lowest grade available. They're not gonna last as long, is what I'm trying to say. You can get maybe 1 or 2 tattoos done, but I guarantee you those machines, they're gonna start dying out, and you put a few hours on those things, they're not gonna last. So they don't last. But compared to prison tattoo machines, I don't know if you know, tattoo machines, they were done by old cassette tape motors. That's
really?
How, when I was a kid, my uncle was a tattoo artist. So when I was a kid, and my uncle was and that's why my family, when I first started getting into tattoos and tattooing, they had a real negative outlook on tattooing, because my uncle was a tattoo artist, and he was, he's a Mexican-American cholo. He got into a lot of trouble, super heavily tattooed, and he was always in prison. And when he was out, he would tattoo, his friends, which were, other cholos. And it just, I feel like in the beginning, my family just saw it as like, tattooing was things that cholos did, you know what I mean? So I feel like, yeah, that was tough to get their support in the beginning. But the way my uncle used to do it, these homemade machines, they would get these Walkmans, these cassette tape players, and they would pull out the motor, which is a rotary, it spins. and they would create these machines by hand, and you would create your needles with guitar strings. So that's how a lot of people would get these tattoos back in the day. You'd order these supplies in prison and you'd hand make them. But yeah, they get real creative in prison. You'd be amazed at all these things that people do in there.
Interesting. So the ones I know, because I had my friend on here, and he was talking about the tattoos that he gave when he was in prison.
Really? Did he do them like picking?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So he did the picking one. Have you had any experience on picking?
Yes, I have. I've had a few pick tattoos just out here, just for fun. That it became really trendy about a year ago. They started selling like these picking kits where it's just like a single needle, a few pigments, and it started getting really trendy and popular on TikTok. I don't know if you ever saw that, but so they were sold and promoted as these, at-home tattoo kits. And, a lot of tattoo artists, they hate on stuff like that. I don't care. I mean, there's room out there for everything. But yeah, that was trendy, the hand picking. I think that's a little different than what I'm talking. They would actually hand build these machines. That's usually picking is done in jail where it's short-term time. You don't have access to, a lot of, like the things that you can order. Because in prison, you're able to order, you're able to get packages from families. So those were one of the things that were allowed was cassette Walkman. We're talking in the 90s,
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's a little different, but it's amazing what they do.
Interesting. Now, what percentage of the tattoos that you have did you give yourself versus what was done?
I've actually done a lot of tattoos on myself. A lot of my left arm is all done by me. That's why they don't look as clean as like my newer arm. You can see the difference here. But I've done a lot of tattoos on myself when I first started tattooing. Most tattoo artists, fun fact, if you ask them, they'll have their thighs tattooed, and it's usually a tattoo that they did on themselves. Usually tattoo artists will, when they first get started, they'll tattoo their own thighs or other parts of the body. When I first started TikTok, I was tattooing my stomach, and that was one of my first viral videos on TikTok, was tattooing myself. So
how difficult is that? Are you in a mirror, or are you looking just straight down at it?
Both. I had a mirror in front of me. I'm tattooing myself in front of a mirror, and it sucks. It sucks. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Are you like full covered, or?
I have a lot of my body covered. It's an illusion still. I have a lot of parts of my legs I still have some empty space on my legs. My back is probably the next piece I'm going to do, but I have both sleeves. My front torso's done. I have I'd say about 60% of my body is covered right now.
Nice, dude.
So
I want to talk to you about like the whole content side of things, right? How long have you been doing this, and when did you start getting into like the content?
Sure. I feel like, content-wise, when it comes to consistently posting, I feel like I've been doing it for 2 years. I've always done it though. So when I say I've always done it, is I've always been creative. Before I'm a tattoo artist, before I'm an artist, I'm a creative. I like to create things, right? So when I was a kid, I used to record with my siblings and my cousins. We're talking VHS camcorders where we'd record ourselves doing these pranks. Jackass was big, so we'd do like these pranks and stuff out in the street. Again, and these were things that were never posted on the internet. These were just tapes that were passed around my family. So my cousins would get a copy, and they'd get a kick out of watching us. So when it comes to creating, I feel like I've always kind of done it. And even when I first opened my tattoo shop, I opened my first tattoo. My tattoo shop was opened in 2011, and when I first started, I was really pushing promotional videos with the opening. I was starting to do content with my tattooing and promoting my business early on. And then when it comes to like personally doing my own content, I would say it's been 2 years. So it's fairly recent, and I love it. And now it's taken, I love it. I love it too. And it's taken away time from my tattooing, because I really want to focus more on creating now. I love tattooing. I'll always tattoo, but I love creating. I love, one of the things I want to do in my lifetime is direct a horror film. I'm a big horror fan, so that's something I'm gonna do in my lifetime too. So
I guess that kind of like, I had a question. Literally, I was gonna ask you, in your head, I wouldn't say are you content being where you're at, but in your head, have you made it to your fullest potential of where you want to be?
And I'm glad you asked that. I feel like I'm content, but I'm not content. I'm content in the goals that I've reached, but I feel like I will never stop. I'll always keep going. So I've scratched off, like one of my dreams was to open up a tattoo shop. I opened up a tattoo shop. I was 23 when I first opened my tattoo
Wow.
shop at that time, and that was I was the youngest tattoo shop owner in California at that time. So that was one of my dreams, was opening up a tattoo shop. Then I wanted to tattoo celebrities, and I've kind of knocked off a lot of the names I had on my list. I started a hit list in 2016, and it was a list of clients that I wanted to tattoo, and I've gone to tattoo a lot of those people on my list. And, so it's like, where do I go next? Right? Like I have enough clients already, the work is there. I've tattooed a lot of cool people. So I find myself asking, cause I'm never content. It's what's next, it's like they call it a gift and a curse, right? When you're not content. So yeah, it's got me asking me again, what's next?
Wow. So can you give us some names on this hit list you had?
Sure. I mean, some of my favorite people, like I had Brent Faiyaz on my hit list. That's one of my favorite artists even today. Trippie Redd was one of those on my list. 6ix9ine was one of those. Lil Skies, that whole SoundCloud rap era. I got to tattoo a lot of those people, and those are people that were on my hit list at the time. But the Ball Brothers were on my hit list even before, when they were playing at Chino Hills. So there were people that I was observing. I was living in Orange the majority of these recent years, and so Chino Hills, it's just 20 minutes away from where I'm at. So I've always observed, the Chino Hills team, and was watching them. And there were people that I was reaching out for a lot of years, and there were people that I really wanted to tattoo. So
yeah, so I want to know about that LaMelo Ball tattoo, because I saw that recently on your social media, and ESPN, TMZ, you were everywhere for that tattoo.
Yeah, no, that was cool. I feel like anytime I tattoo, I've tattooed all three of the brothers, and I feel like anytime I tattoo them, it always does really well. They usually do pick it up, and it's exciting, man. I actually tattooed Jello first, so I tattooed LiAngelo first. This was in like 2018, and it was a domino effect. I'll start off with the first basketball player I tattooed, because originally when I first started, I was tattooing people that were big on Facebook. That was how I first got started. People that had like millions of followers on Facebook, influencers from that time. And then from then on, it transitioned into tattooing underground rappers. Then it went to more mainstream rappers. And then right after that, I started tattooing a lot of NBA players. And when that came about, I shout out to my boy Ashton King. He was somebody that was good friends with Thomas Bryant. So at the time, he was a rookie for the Lakers. Kyle Kuzma, that was the same year that Kyle Kuzma came along. So at the time, my boy Ashton linked me with Thomas Bryant. So check this out, Kia. So I get invited to do this tattoo session, right? And it's in Marina Del Rey. I get there, and it's a whole squad of people. This is like, everybody lives there. Lonzo Ball lives there. Like, I get there, Brandon Ingram's there, Kyle Kuzma's there, Vander Blue, Thomas Bryant. And it was cool because, like, me and my boy from my tattoo shop, we got to tattoo all of them, and I got to record it, put out videos for that. So that was it was really fun. At the time, I would always work with the videographer. So I wasn't making my own content. So I basically relied on him to record everything. And what I would get out of it was like a 1-minute video. Now it's different. Now I do things a little differently, but that was what I got from that session. And it was just like a domino effect from that. But that was like my first experience tattooing NBA players, was at this at this residence where everybody was tattooing, everybody was getting tattooed, and it was just one giant tattoo party. Interesting.
Do the same people come back to you? Like you said, the Ball Brothers, but I'm wondering, is this like similar to like a barber where like you stick with that one tattoo artist?
It isn't, because you're traveling a lot, right? So, and I encourage all my clients too. There's artists that they'll get super jealous if they go, like a barber, if you go get cut by somebody else or go get tattooed by somebody else, they'll take it personal. Me, I'm not like that. I understand that people have collections, and I'm a collector myself. I see a lot of these cool stuff back here. I'm a collector myself. So I encourage a lot of my clients to, sure, like, hey, if you're out in, Japan, get a tattoo in Japan. If you're out in Australia, get tattooed out there. Like, it's everyone, the way things are done tattoo wise, they're done differently around the world. And I encourage everybody to, experience that, but yeah, so some people do get like that. When I first, was tattooing, I tattooed Jello first. So that was through my boy Ashton that I mentioned, and his tattoo artist had recently passed away. Rest in peace, Boo Boo Negretti. But I don't know if Boo Boo was doing a lot of his work, and he was a celebrity tattoo artist. He was tattooing a lot of people. He's actually son to a legendary tattoo artist, Freddie Negretti. They call him like the godfather of black and gray. So that's somebody that like I look up to. That's like one of my Kobe's, you know what I mean? That's like a Michael Jordan to me. So yeah, rest in peace to him. And it was just through word of mouth, man. Word of mouth. You ask, do some people come back? A lot of people do. Some people it's just straight business. You know, it's only just one session and that's it. And it is what it is. I don't take things personal. You're not always going to connect with everybody, right? So it's per client basis, and you know, you never know what that relationship can turn into. Interesting.
And how do you see a return on like when these NBA players post the tattoos? Are a bunch of people coming to you like, yo, let me do this, let me do that?
100%. And I'll tell you, I feel like basketball players get me the most clientele. I'll be out in public and stuff, and they'll be like, I feel like I hear, oh, I seen your work on a basketball player versus a rapper, or, you know, somebody else, you know? Yeah. I feel like they have I don't want to call it star power, but I guess it is, right? I'm assuming because NBA it has such a wide range, like when it comes to the audience. If you think about it, right? NBA, it's people all walks of life, women, men, like all ethnicities, everybody watches basketball worldwide. So I think that's why the reach works so well tattooing them, because they have such a big audience and a wide variety of audience. When I tattoo like a rapper, not everybody knows who Blue Bucks Clan is or Blast, you know what I mean? But when it comes to like a LaMelo Ball, most people will know who that is.
Interesting. I also wonder if it's like, you're also, when they're in season, you're seeing them every other night kind of thing. And like there's certain close-ups of like, because like LaMelo's balls are really, the one I saw is like a bright red, right?
Yes.
So like imagine like seeing that, and then eventually like the stuff you're seeing, whereas rappers, even if you know them, you might only be listening to them, right? It's less you see things like that. So I think I might have an effect on it too, but that's cool that the amount of reach they have.
Yeah, no. And it's, you know, the things that I'm chasing too are, I'm an artist, right? Most artists, you want to be remembered when you're gone. And these are the things that I'm chasing. When I'm gone, you're going to be able to see my artwork on an NBA card, right? Like a LaMelo rookie card or something. Or you'll be able to play NBA 2K 23, 24, and my tattoos are going to be visible in these. I
didn't even think about that.
So that's what I'm chasing, man. I want to have tattoos in pop culture that are always remembered, like a Tupac Thug Life, a Mike Tyson face tattoo. Those are the things that I'm chasing right now. So, well, not even right now. I've always been on this mission, man. So.
Oh, that's it. Do you get a high when someone's like, I want this on my face? Is that like different with I want this like under my arm?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't think face tattoos are as popular as they once were, you know, a couple of years ago. But yeah, I mean, they're always fun to do. You know, if it's like a young kid that wants to get a face tattoo, I'll definitely encourage to take your time on it. But you know, I guess, don't rush into face tattoos.
Are you? Yeah, that was my question. I feel like a kid comes for a face tattoo. Are you ever like obviously you'll say something, but are you ever like, oh man, as you're doing it?
I definitely have, but I usually do try to encourage or talk people out of, you know, moving placement wise. And they usually do listen. They usually do. There's very few that are, you know, I've actually turned down some face tattoos, so I will turn them down. You know, some people argue and be like, well, you did all these face tattoos on SoundCloud rappers, but it's different. They're an entertainer. You know what I mean? I almost feel like it's part of the aesthetic. You almost kind of have to, at least at that time, right? So
interesting. Yeah. What other tattoos have you turned down, if you have?
Aside from, lately I've actually been turning down. Are you familiar with the Santa Muerte? So Santa Muerte is, I don't know if it's it might be just in the Catholic religion, but it's Lady Death, and a lot of people pray to this. It's not Catholic. It's its own thing. So a lot of people pray to this Lady Death, and usually they're like trappers, you know, people that are in crime, you know, things like that. And so they pray to this Lady Death. So I've actually turned down a few of those, man. Yeah, I've done a few. I actually have, but more recently, I'm just trying to be aware more of like energy, and like, you know, I feel like if I tattoo things like that, I'm opening doors. Plus, like, there's the aspect of like blood and stuff. It's almost like a ritual what we're doing there, man. Right? If you really think about it, with the blood and what I'm putting on the body, and I'm doing it, I just started feeling like, you know what? I don't really want to mess with that stuff. And I'm a horror fan. I love things like that, and I believe in things like that, but I just kind of try to keep those things at a distance.
I mean, I feel like if something enters your work, it enters your life. So
I agree, bro. 100%. So I have turned down a few of those tattoos lately.
Are there like, I want to say, like gang related tattoos, stuff like that you're just like, you have to think about, or are those like if someone comes for like a teardrop for like an obviously gang related reason, are you like cautious or what?
Oh, 100%. But I haven't really, I feel like it's been years since I've gotten any requests like that. But in my early years, it definitely was. Because in the beginning, yeah, I'm just tattooing close friends and family, random people that I'd meet. So you'd meet, you know, people that would want those types of tattoos. A lot of my clientele now, they're, you know, a lot of them are, I get all walks of life too. You know, I tattoo all types of people. A lot of them are business owners, professionals. I get soccer moms too. I joke about that all the time. I get all walks of life. And that's something that I enjoy. I enjoy talking to people just like what we're doing right now. I love hearing people's stories. And that's one of those things that I enjoy about tattooing, because, you know, a lot of my sessions, my average day isn't like a quick tattoo. I'm spending minimum 4 hours with you, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 sometimes.
What's the longest?
Longest session I've ever done would be about 15 hours. Yeah, 15 hours.
15 hours?
Yeah, I don't tattoo like that anymore.
What was it? Like a whole
back piece. Whole back piece.
They just wanted it at once?
As much as we didn't finish it, but I got as much as we could get done, and I got a lot of it done actually. So
damn, 15 hours.
And keep in mind, this was some time ago, and keep in mind that back then there wasn't lidocaine products available. These are the numbing cream, like numbing cream or numbing spray. So yeah, they're going at it raw, man.
Do a lot of people numb now? Yeah,
I'd say at least my clientele, I'd say about 80% get numb now. Oh, 100%. Yeah. There's a lot of tattoo artists that don't want to use it, and there's a lot of reasons. When it comes to using lidocaine products, or even any product that we use, everybody's skin is different. We all have, you know, different allergies. Our bodies react to different things. So a lot of artists argue, and they say that using lidocaine affects the skin negatively. Like it can, and it does cause a little bit of swelling, a little bit of redness, but I personally think it's minimal. Some artists argue and they'll say it does more than it's doing, but I don't mind it. I'd rather my client be comfortable and you have a great experience than be in pain for 8 hours. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Interesting. Now, what's the most painful part to get a tattoo on the body?
Are you asking like shading versus outline, or
let's just say they want a full piece, just something not like simple writing, just like they want a full like thing done.
Oh, got it. I would say something that has, because you see a lot of I see a lot of girls that get these thin outline tattoos, and they always say, "Oh, that tattoo didn't hurt." Of course it didn't hurt. It's just a thin outline. But if you were to get shading, you know, with like it's called mag, like a mag shader or a round shader, those things or those needles, they open a lot more area at a time. So those are usually a little bit more painful. Even the way the technique when you use those needles are a little bit more painful. So I would say a tattoo that is outlined and shaded, both, not just outlined or not just shading, because sometimes just the shading alone is soft and it doesn't really hurt as much. I think when you have the combination of both, because you're going over both of those, I think that's when it hurts the most.
Interesting. Where in the body would you say, if it would it be?
So parts of the body, for me personally, I'll tell you, it was my throat. My throat was my worst tattoo. Yeah. You can't see, but under my chin there, goes all the way up there. It just felt like razor blades, plus the position too that I was in. That's the other part of it too. I was on a bed, and my head was hanging right off the bed, and I just feel like all the blood rushing to my head. Is just, I had a headache. I was in pain. That area is painful. I'd say inside bicep is a sensitive area. Knuckles are a sensitive area.
A lot of bone, huh?
All bone, yeah. Your feet. So you can imagine your feet, your ankle, all those areas are super sensitive, I'd say. But everybody's, you know, worst area is different from person to person. So these are just kind of like what I feel people typically say hurts the most.
Feet tattoos. Is that like the Andy on Toy Story? Just under the foot? Have you done that?
I actually have. I had these two. We had these two French girls that came in, walked in, and for some reason they got lettering done. This was some years ago, and they got lettering done on the bottom of their feet.
But it wasn't Andy, was it?
No, it wasn't Andy. It was not Andy.
No, it wasn't Andy. Yeah. That's like their first tattoo. That'd be hilarious. Yeah. Damn. Okay. Well. Talk to me about. I want to talk about 6ix9ine, because I saw that was like when you sent me the list. 6ix9ine was the first name on the list. You didn't give him all the 6ix9ines all over his body, did you?
No. I came in after that. 6ix9ine is probably one of the biggest artists that I've tattooed. So this was 2018, and usually the people that I reach out to, at that time I was pretty early on a lot of artists. I feel like that was something that I had an advantage of because I was consuming a lot of the music. So I'd kind of see people before they popped off, sort of thing. And I remember watching 6ix9ine, and I remember thinking like, man, this guy he's doing something different. I've never heard his sound. I don't know if you ever heard of like Helsing Station, some of his older, and he would create these like amazing visuals. I don't know if you know, he was actually a director. Well, he would direct a lot of his own videos, and he was a videographer before he came, before he became a rapper. Oh yeah, he did videography before. So he would direct his own music videos, and I just love like his aesthetic, the way his visuals were in his music, and I was just really I became a fan, bro. I became a fan, and I was watching him from a distance, and you know, I know he's half Mexican, I'm Mexican, so I'm like, okay, cool, you know, let's link up, sort of thing. That kind of you know, got me more excited. But yeah, so I was a fan watching him for a year, and that was at the top. He was at the top of my list. I remember that was all I would think about. Like, I really want to work with this guy. I remember I shared this story recently where I got to see him. Let's take this back a little further. So I met him through his team. So his team, super cool people, William Asher and his homie, bro. And I met his team first, built up a good relationship with him. And that's how I got kind of the introduction to 6ix9ine. So I was able to link up with his people first. But yeah, man, I sent him a DM when he was out here he was out here performing one October. And he was out here performing. I went out there for the show as a fan. I was hoping I'd get to meet him that night, but his team wasn't there, so I never got a chance to link up with him. So I just went over there as a fan, had an amazing experience. The following day, I'm literally in my car, and I yelled at the top of my lungs, I'm gonna tattoo 6ix9ine. I yelled it twice, and I remember just getting these goosebumps, man. This was a Thursday. Sunday comes around, and I actually sent him a DM because, you know, I'm also, when I DM people, I'm aware of what they're doing, what the schedule is like. I knew it was a Sunday, right? Usually people wind down. So I'm like, I'm going to send him a DM. And keep in mind, I've sent him hundreds of DMs already. So I sent him a DM. He responds to me right away, asked me for my phone number. I give him my phone number. He calls me right away. And this Sunday, he asked me if I could go out there that evening. And I'll be honest, I couldn't. I had some family things going on. As much as I wanted to make it, I didn't make it. I couldn't go out that day. So we agreed to do Monday, the following day. Monday comes around. I'm out in LA. He's not responding to me. I'm out here ready. I have all my tattoo stuff, just waiting in the car. I never got that call. And that really bummed me out, man. I started to feel like I lost my opportunity. That was it. I should have just done it, right? So I resumed to my regular work week. Wednesday comes around. I'm about to start a client. And sure enough, it's 6ix9ine calling me, man. And long story short, he asked me, hey, you know, can you come out here? And he had already bailed on, yeah, basically, can you come out here right now? And
that's how about to start on somebody.
Exactly, bro. And you know, that's how rappers are. A lot of times you can never schedule an appointment in advance. You know, it's always like, are you available today? You know, sort of thing. I'm sure you know how that goes, right? A lot of it is like that. But so thankfully I hadn't started the tattoo. That client that I was working on was a regular client of mine. I actually rescheduled her, took care of her the following day. I gave her a 50% discount, so I showed her some love too, you know. And but anyways, did
you tell her why?
No, yeah, I knew, and she was like, "Go ahead, do it." You know, she knew. You know, she was a regular client of mine, so I'm so grateful and thankful that she understood. Yeah. But I remember one of the funniest things is so actually I created a video on this. But true story, 6ix9ine, he called me and he asked me to go to his house, and he asked me if I had numbing cream, and I did have numbing cream. I had like 3-4 different types, and he asked me over the phone, and he tells me, don't forget the numbing cream. He told me several times. That was the last thing he told me on over a phone call. So I'm super excited. I pack up and make my way out here to LA area, and as soon as I get there, there's police everywhere, man. So as soon as I get there, I'm wondering what's going on here. Did something happen? This was the time where he was beefing with YG. A lot of California, the West Coast, wasn't really rocking with him. So there was a lot of tension. People were after him. So I pull up, get there. They're just, working as security. So I go in there and they
really just all these cops.
All these cops are as security. And then he had private security, like leading up into the home, inside the home. I've never seen that much security ever, bro. So he had security at every hallway, every doorway. So I get there and bro, I realize he's a super cool person right away. Good vibes. I start setting up, and as I'm setting up, I realize that I forgot the numbing cream. Damn. And that's where I created this video where, I forget the numbing cream and bro, I did not want to tell him. I did not want to tell him that.
You start rubbing water on him or something.
Bro, I'm thinking he's not gonna rock with me. Like he had the one thing he asked me to bring, I forgot. So what I did was I did a similar thing. I got A&D ointment, which has no lidocaine in it, and I told my guy, one of my guys that was helping me, I told him just put it on his forehead, act like it's numbing cream, and just let it set in. So we're going for the placebo effect, man.
Yeah, for real?
Yeah. So I never told him, but I faked it. I faked that I had numbing cream on him. That night, I did some face tattoos. I did the Brooklyn tattoo above his forehead. I did part of the cover up.
So you did face on him?
Oh yeah, I did do face tattoos. Wow. Yeah, I did the cover up that's on his forehead over here. I did the rays on the side of his face. And he had 2 friends there. I tattooed both of his friends. But my experience with 6ix9ine, bro, he was actually a lot cooler than I expected.
Yeah.
Usually, you never know what experience you're going to have with somebody, celebrity wise. You never know if they're going to be cool or not. I go in there with no expectations always. But with him, I was pleasantly surprised, man. He was super cool. I tell people all the time that because he wasn't in a lot of pain. Again, we had no numbing cream, so he wasn't in a lot of pain that evening.
Or anything? He's
no. He was just saying. I think I remember him saying like, "Oh, this don't even work." I remember him saying, "This shit don't even work." Yeah, and I'm just like in my mind, I'm like, "Damn." But have
you told anyone this?
I created a video, and now people know because I created a video on YouTube. It's a YouTube Shorts. I got like 10 million views on that one. Damn. But it's the story of 6ix9ine and how I basically lied to him. But why I say he's nice is because the following day he texts me and he's like, "Hey bro, I want to thank you so much for coming out." He's like, "I know I'm sorry if I came off as rude. I was just in a lot of pain." And you don't really get texts like that. Yeah, so he texts me saying, "Hey, I'm sorry if I came off rude." And I'm like, "Don't even worry about it, man. I get it." But that was one of those things where I feel like things slowly starting to change, where, I've always kind of been tattooing a lot of people, but tattooing 6ix9ine, I feel like was significant. It was different than a lot of people I had tattooed in the past at that time. So yeah, man, I'm so grateful to tattoo him and everybody that's given me an opportunity. I just, I'm always, like I said, I'm always chasing what's next, what's to come in the next 5 years.
Yeah. Are there any like celebrities that you'll see their tattoos and you're kind of like, damn, like I kind of wish I gave that tattoo to them.
Sure. No, definitely. I do see that all the time. Or what you see is sometimes you'll see an artist a celebrity get a tattoo by somebody, and they'll get something done by an artist that doesn't even specialize that. Like for example, they'll see a realism guy and they'll get a lettering tattoo, where it's like, for me, I love lettering. I specialize in lettering. I'd be like, man, I wish I could have been that guy to give that lettering. A good example is like Post Malone, the always tired. And that's one of my phrases too. I'm always tired too. We're always working. So that was one of those tattoos that I saw. To answer your question, that was one of those that I saw. And I was like, man, I wish I could have done it. But it's all good, man.
In the way of like, you think you personally could have done better.
Yeah, definitely could have done better. Yeah. Things like that. But I think what's meant to be is meant to be, and it's meant to happen when it's meant to happen too. So
interesting. Now, on the other hand, are there like celebrities that you see that their tattoos are just like, why did you get that?
Sure.
Yeah. Like, can you name any?
Sure. Did you see? Okay, you're an NBA fan, right, Kia?
Yeah.
Did you see Dennis Rodman's face tattoo?
Is it new?
It's new. The one of his chick on his cheek. It's probably
I did see that. Yes,
like a month.
Yes,
like you see that? That is crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, see, that's wild.
Yeah, that is wild, man. I just think. But see, I get it though. I saw that the tattoo, and I checked out the artist. The artist does amazing work, and I think that's something that a lot of people don't. What a lot of people don't see is a lot of these sessions, you're not working in your usual environment, right? You step out of your comfort zone. There's a lot of elements that come into play that affect your tattooing. I've been in places where there's no Wi-Fi, there's no lighting, and you just have to make it work. So, and not all celebrities are easy to work with. Sometimes you can give them your best advice, best idea when it comes to placement, design, and a lot of times they don't listen to it, man. They'll just want to get how they want it. At the end of the day, like I want to give my client what they want. It doesn't matter what I think. I always, beauty is an eye of the beholder. Art is subjective, right? It's all everyone. So I'm gonna give them what they want. Yeah.
We'll say art is subjective, but there's certain pieces that I think everyone could agree on.
Yeah. No, I agree, bro.
No, but I agree. What do you think of like Machine Gun Kelly's someone where like there's like either you're for it or you're not for it with like all that coloring, all that this and that. What do you think of that kind of stuff?
I think it fits his style, man. I mean, I you know, based on his music and his aesthetic, I feel like it goes with him, bro. I really do. I really do. The color looks good on him. Yeah, I think it works.
I'm a big fan of like, I love, not on me, like I wouldn't do it, but I'm a big fan of like colored tattoos, like a lot of color. And I'm also a fan of just one full leg without the other leg being tattooed.
I feel like legs are the new trendy spot to get tattooed. Years prior, I feel like sleeves. Everybody wanted sleeves, right? Now, I feel like legs, specifically thighs. A lot of you see a lot of basketball players are getting the tops of their knees, like right above, you know, that thigh area.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of people are getting those areas. I think that's a trendy spot right now. So legs more than ever. Before it'd be people with, again, sleeves but no leg tattoos, and I was like that for a long time. I didn't even want leg tattoos. Now I just want to fill them up now. So.
Now I want to talk about cover-ups.
Sure.
I had a question. Have you ever covered up a tattoo that you gave? Like, did someone come back like you're like, hey, I don't want this tattoo anymore?
Yes, I have, and quite a few times. And a lot of the times it's not because they didn't like the tattoo. A lot of times it's the meaning, you know, usually. And it sucks because I actually do tattoo a lot of beautifully done tattoos, and a lot of people, though they might have got it for an ex or something like that, right? Something that they want to forget. And a lot of times it's not the, you know, the look of it. It's usually simply they want to erase the history of it, the meaning of it. So I have, and I don't take it personally. You know, sometimes I've had clients where, I did like some tribal type work and they changed it into like roses. You know, they were over the tribal look. So I get it. You know, you want to change your look up. There's a lot of tattoos that I wish I could redo. I might even cover up some of mine. So
you'd prefer to cover it up than get it removed and do a new,
new slate. And I've heard the removal process is tough, and I heard it's really painful too. Have you seen, you know, what's big right now? And I actually offer it too. I just haven't. I might do it on LaMelo. We're gonna see, but they're putting people under. They're doing the under anesthesia. How they're putting you under. So what's happening now, and this is very recent. Ganga Tattoo, shout out to him. He was one of the first that did it. He put Post Malone under, Lil Durk, Moneybagg Yo. All these people went under, and what happens is you're under for, you know, 6, 8, 10 hours sometimes, depending on how big the piece is, and you have multiple artists work on you. So you can get a full back piece done in an 8-hour session under anesthesia.
Like 2 minutes for you, huh?
Yeah. With 4 artists at the same time.
Really?
But it has to be done in a medical setting. It has to be, you know, with an anesthesiologist and a doctor. And when you wake up, you're monitored too. So it's legit like the same, like if you get surgery, it's the same process.
So are you an artist meeting at like a hospital for this?
It'd be like a surgical center where I would meet up. Yes.
Really? So LaMelo wants
LaMelo's talking about getting his back done, but we'll see.
Under anesthesia.
Under anesthesia. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Now I asked Jello and he's like, nah. He's like, nah, I'm good. He's like, cause he'll use numbing cream sometimes. He's like, and honestly, I feel that too, because I think it's risky, man. I mean, it's a numbers game. There's always risk when it comes to going under anesthesia. And I mean, I'd rather go the 0 risk route, which is, you know, just get the numbing cream. I feel like that's fair enough. I do get it though. Some people like a Lil Durk that's on tour and they only have one, cause you know, a back piece is maybe a year's worth of work, you know, in one day that they're getting.
Yeah.
So I could see how that might make sense for that type of clientele. But if you have the time, I think it's better to just get it done by session. Plus, I think I love the experience too, you know, conversating with the client, like I mentioned. So then it takes
They're just dead asleep.
Bro, I'm not even talking to them, you know? Then it's like, yeah.
You can talk to the other artists at that point, right? Are they all there together?
They're all there together.
Just individually working on their section?
4 people at the same time, so.
This is all one piece for the most part, or is this like separate pieces? Or
sometimes it's a collage of different pieces, but overall it is one piece, yes. But I've seen where it's a collage of different like elements, or where it's like one giant image, like a pharaoh or something, you know, and they'll each, like, somebody will tackle the bottom, you know, just,
you know, it'd be funny, dude, if like you're doing a whole pharaoh piece, but like you're drawing it in the way you're standing, so it's like,
man.
Have you done it? Have you done this already, or is
no? I have not yet. No, I just recently got in contact with a doctor and an anesthesiologist, so we just got all the details, it's fixed. So yeah,
that's crazy. No, I don't even want to go to sleep if I have to get a surgery, let alone like a tattoo. But I guess the cool thing would be just waking up
and you're blasted. Yeah.
No, keep me out of that.
Yeah, man. And I also want to talk about, so I feel like I didn't really go into the Ball brothers, and they're, they're some of my favorite clients, man. So I just want to talk a little bit about how I met them. So I told you I tattooed Jello first, right? Tattooed Jello. And it's funny because when I first tattooed Jello, Mello was like 17 at the time. He was in the background. Like he wasn't even in the league yet. So Mello was always kind of in the background, and we would joke like, hey, one day we're going to tattoo you. And Jello was the first one to start getting a lot of work done by, I've done the majority of his work now. And then shortly after that, I got in contact with Demo, which is Lonzo's manager. Yeah. And so I ended up, I remember one summer we were always at Lonzo's house, like once a week, tattooing Demo, tattooing Zoe, tattooing different people from the team. And again, you spend a lot of hours with people, so you get to really connect with people, and those are the experiences that I chase. Those are things that like money can't buy, you know what I mean? Like sure, I can tattoo and make some money, cool, but not a lot of people could say like they've played NBA 2K with Lonzo Ball or Uno, right. Uno cards with LaMelo Ball, and those are like real moments, man, that I really, that I love, man, that I love having real moments with real people outside of like the internet stuff. So
who are like the coolest like people other than the Ball brothers that like you've just built a connection with that you
Blast
remember?
Is really cool. Have you heard of Blast? Mm-hmm. He's a musician. I love Blast. I'm a huge fan of him. He's super cool, super humble dude, and I've seen his growth from when I first started to now. He's like really elevated. The YBN guys, like YBN Namir, those guys are super cool. I've gone to tattoo a lot of like lately, like friends from TikTok, like Leo Gonzalez. Have you heard of him? Yeah. I love Leo. Like Leo's such a great dude. Somebody like him. I mean, I feel like most people have been super chill, man. Everybody's been super cool to work with so far.
How open are some people to like your ideas when it comes to tattoos? Are there any like clients that are like, you could be like, hey, I think this will look dope right here if you're getting this or something? They'll be like, yeah, let's do it.
When it comes to celebrities, a lot of times I feel like they're dead set on what they want. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of times I describe where celebrities, they want things that people don't have, right? So if I tell like LaMelo Ball, hey, this is normally the way that I would do it. Melo's the type of person, or celebrities are the type of people where if someone else has it, they don't want it. They want something new and different. So it goes against what, you know what I mean? Like what they're trying to get. So sense. A lot of times they, in fact, they might like that it's going against the grain, that typically it's not done that way. So I feel like that's something different with celebrities. I feel like my day-to-day clients, they're super open to it. They kind of just let me, a lot of people, a lot of my clientele, they already know what they're going to get, and they basically just, leave it up to me. But at the end of the day, man, I feel like it's always like a 50-50. It's like a haircut. You have to communicate. You got to tell your barber what you want. And I want to know what you want too. That way because I can give you what I want, but ultimately it's your body. You see it every day. And that's more important to me than my tattoo. So.
And when you sketch these out, you sketch them out beforehand and show them. Oh,
definitely.
How long does that process take you?
It depends on the tattoo. Usually my process is an hour for like a forearm or a shoulder tattoo. A back piece usually takes a few hours. And sometimes it's freehanded on the skin.
Oh, really?
Most tattoos are 50-50. What I'll do is I'll stencil 50% of it, and I'll freehand the filler, the stuff in between. Mm-hmm. So, excuse me.
You're good. Dude, this is wild. There's so much that I just didn't know about tattooing. Yeah, I didn't realize there's so much that goes into it. But yeah, I want to hear about the like if you're sketching something out, like, is there ever like they're like, nah, I don't like that. Okay, now they're a couple hours.
Sure, bro.
Right?
Let me tell you about a nightmare client that I had, right? And I don't have too many of those. I feel like most of my clients are super chill. But I had this girl that she had walked into my shop, and she had I call it this would be a triple cover up. She had a tattoo triple cover up. She had a tattoo done by one artist. Second artist came in, attempted to cover it. I'm coming in as the third artist. So a triple cover up right there. She walks in, and I'll be honest, Kia, I did not want to do this tattoo. It was a headache, and I tried to be nice about it. I was busy, and I told her, I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, I can't do this right now. I can refer you to one of my artists. And she just didn't follow up. And what happened is she came back about a month later. And the second time she came in in tears. And she's telling me like, like, Herschel, please help me. Like, now she's asking me for help, and that's how she got me. Once I seen her in tears, I'm like, I gotta help this girl.
That's
you
the
know?
secret, walking
yeah,
in the place with tears.
yeah. So I'm like, I really want to help her, and I've done tattoos like this where I don't want to say I specialize in cover-ups, but I'm confident in my cover-ups. So I think that's why she had wanted to see me too. She had seen my recent cover-ups. So anyways, she got me. I scheduled her, and her session realistically should have been about a 4 or 5 hour session. When I tattooed her, this session turned into double. This was about a 8 to 10 hour session, man. Wow. And the reason it was delayed wasn't because it took that long, but because the changes and things and the things that happened during the session. Let me give you an example. So she had like an anime figure, right? More of a head, more anime head with like a galaxy background. And I remember I'm reworking the color, just retouching it up first, cleaning up the makeup on the face. And I remember I did, she wanted brown eyes. So I gave the girl brown eyes in the tattoo. She gets up, she looks at it. She's like, I don't like the brown eyes. I don't want the brown eyes. I don't like that. Can we do blue eyes? And you know, you can only go over the skin a certain amount of times before you start to overwork the skin and really cause damage that can cause scabbing, bad tattoos.
Have red eyes.
So, and I started explaining, I'm like, no worries, we can, you know, I'll do that on this one, but just a heads up, before I put any color, just be sure you know what you want, because I can't take away, and there's only so much I can do with going over that second layer. So what happened is, that's one small example. Started like that. And I'm telling you, bro, she was nitpicking and I'm very patient, man. I'm probably the most patient person I know. I'm very patient, but she was nitpicking. When I tell you there was maybe like 250 stars on there, she was nitpicking every single one. She looked up in the mirror, and I remember this was like hour 6, and she's like, you know, first she was super nice and sweet, and towards the end she just turned into like this Clientele, man, because she's looking in the mirror, she's like, I don't like that star, I don't like that star, I like that one, I don't like that one.
What?
Oh, redo that one, I don't like the blush there, can you add more blush? And it just, that's what the session was like. And let me share something with you, bro. She kind of had like this goth aesthetic. You know how you meet, they say that vampires exist, but they're energy vampires. She drained my energy, bro. I almost felt like it was so bad that I felt she was pushing me to that extreme so I can be like, hey, I'm done, just get out of here. I was thinking at certain points, I was thinking she wanted a free tattoo because she was pushing me that much, you know? But she drained my energy. She never let me post a tattoo. She didn't let me take photos of the tattoo. She was just, you know, I don't know what her deal was, man, but she was different, a different type of person. I haven't seen her since then. And that's probably been my worst client, man. Yeah, she drained me. My energy, I got out of there super late. I was exhausted, bro. I was exhausted. Yeah. And I felt like that the next day. And I remember thinking, did I just tattoo a vampire? You know?
Wow. So it is a game of energy, dude.
It definitely is, man. It definitely is, man. Yeah. So, you know, I get a few clients like that. But for the most part, my clients are chill. Working in a tattoo shop, you see people pass out. You see people have seizures.
You just like went over that one. You just say some crazy shit. I was like, what?
Yeah. You know, so you mentioned about needles, right? Having a lot of people do have fear of needles, and even though it's not a long needle, sometimes it does. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just sitting there. Sometimes even the sight of blood, people get nauseous, or they'll. Like I said, I had a client where well, actually, it wasn't my client. I'll share a different one. But my boy tattooed this heavily tattooed guy, right? It's not his first rodeo. Comes in early morning, gets a small filler on his forearm. My client's tattooing him, and the dude was, I think he was drinking. And this dude, all of a sudden, I hear his drink spill. And I see his drink on the ground, and all of a sudden, I see piss too. So it's like yellow and like some other color over here. So long story short, this dude had a seizure. I was right next to my boy, and next to the client, the dude had a seizure, fell on the ground, and he pissed himself. So now, why did that happen? This is why I think it was because the night prior he was drinking. He didn't get a lot of rest, which he said these things, and he didn't eat breakfast. So that's something that I encourage all people. I make videos on this too, is when you prepare for a tattoo, you have to be well rested. You have to, you know, stay hydrated, drink plenty of water the day before, even during the session. You know, be comfortable, bring a blanket, make sure to eat breakfast, make sure to eat beforehand, because You'd be surprised. A lot of people say, I'm fine. A lot of people, they'll lie and they'll say I ate, and then all of a sudden they turn white, and all of a sudden they're not feeling well. And I'd be like, hey, you didn't eat, right? And they're like, yeah, I didn't eat. So those things are really important. We're not just telling you just to tell you. They're for a reason, and it really does make a difference. Even sometimes just sugar. So sometimes when people aren't feeling well during a session, I've seen that where they'll turn white, be like, and if they did eat, I'd be like, just, get a soda, drink a Coke, or get chocolate, get some candy, get some sugar in you.
Yeah.
So those things really do help. So
wow, dude, I didn't know that. That's wild. You've seen it all in a tattoo shop.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of different things in the shop, man.
Wow.
Thankfully now with my shop, when I first started out, I used to tattoo with a bunch of wild dudes, man. It was chaos in the beginning, but I'm at a point now where, the guys that I work with now, they have a great work ethic. They don't really party a lot, and everyone's just on their grind mode, man. Where before it was like a lot of tattoo artists that I worked with, they're just trying to fuck around, bro.
Yeah.
And take advantage of being a tattoo artist, so.
Absolutely. What is it like? Is this similar to like what a barbershop is, where
100%.
the tattoo artists have their own chair kind of thing?
Yeah. So usually in a tattoo shop, it is. Usually there's not employees. Usually they're independent contractors. And usually you either pay for your booth space and you have your own independent business in a tattoo shop, or you pay a percentage to the house, to the shop. So at my shop, it's a little bit of both. I feel like most tattoo shops are a little bit of both. And I've also noticed that most tattoo shop owned shops have more longevity. They last longer. All the tattoo shops that I've seen that were opened by business guys, they usually don't stay open. So they always shut. So I don't know why that is, but I don't know if it's just because we're there day to day, but I have seen that pattern.
Are you in every day now still, or no?
No. So here it goes up and down. So as of 2 years, I've been creating content. I've been a lot busier with that. This year has been probably the year that I've tattooed the least. These recent months, I've been tattooing a lot more. And I think that's because of the monetization too. I was making a killing on Facebook, bro. I heard you talking about Facebook too, right? Were you posting on Facebook?
That's what we're trying to get on right now. We're late, but we're trying to do it.
Bro, I was on Facebook because I've always had my Facebook account. My Facebook account is like 10 years old. So I've had that account for a long time, and I didn't post recently, right? Like these recent years. But when they introduced the Reels, all I did was I started posting all my TikToks to Facebook, and I was posting every day. And I ran it up, man. I took advantage of the bonus Reels program. I was hitting the max consistently for a few months, and I told the story about that's actually how I bought my house, was through Facebook money. It was through Reels alone, not even my tattoos. So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, Facebook allowed me to buy a home. I'm like, what else can I do now? So I started dedicating more time, started pushing more. I've been more on YouTube now because I feel like the short form content I've had success in, but I really I feel like everyone's chasing the long form content. There's more longevity in long form content,
brand
right?
building, everything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so that's kind of where I'm at now, is trying to get the shorts views on my long form content right now.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah. I mean, we're right there too.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, I was tattooing about 3 days a week. I was tattooing about 15 people a month recently, where before I used to tattoo 6 days a week, 2 clients a day. And I did that for a long time. But I was burning myself out. I was missing a lot. I'm married too, bro. I'm married, have kids. So, I was losing my family time. I was always working, and with video creation, it allowed me to spend more time with my family, focus on other things that I enjoy. And I love the freedom of that, man. But recently, with the monetization, it's not paying as well anymore. So I'm grateful and thankful that I have tattooing. Tattooing is my bread and butter. I always have clientele. So I've just been busy, tattooing lately because there's, and I'm still creating. Don't get me wrong. I'm not creating any less, but I'm just focusing a little bit more on tattoos. But again, a lot of my sessions are 10 hours sometimes. So that's a whole work day. Doesn't leave a lot of time for creation. So, I have to, but I make it work. So
do you have advice on someone trying to become a tattoo artist full time? Would you recommend they work towards opening up their own shop, or work towards some other path?
No, I'm glad you asked that. So if you're brand new, don't worry about the shop anytime soon. That's something that I wish I would have done differently, because when I opened up my shop, I had to not just be a tattoo artist, but I had to be the shop manager. I had to, run all the accounting, the marketing, everything that goes into running a business. And that took away from just the craft and art of tattooing. So I feel like I would have been, art-wise, I would have been at a greater level. My skills would have been better if I would have just focused on just tattooing. But anybody that's out there starting, you're not going to make money in the beginning. Just like with any time you start any new business or any new trade, the money comes till later. I'd say focus on social media, of course. What we're doing right now. Do whatever content you can get out there. That's part of any business now, right? Mm-hmm. It's not just the service or product that you have, but now you have to be you have to have a whole video. You have to be a whole video production now. You have to be a whole social media marketing person now. So there's a lot more involved now. And I think you have to, or you're not going to be as busy. Right. So definitely take advantage of that. That's how I'm able to, I'm at a point where I have so much clientele that I can pick and choose the work that I want to do and, work on my own schedule. And those are the things that I'm grateful for.
Nice, dude. Now, on another note, would you suggest they look for a shop where they give a percentage or look for a shop where they're paying a fee every month to work in?
I'd say don't even look at the money. Just I'd feel get into the shop that's the best environment for you. There's different vibes at different tattoo shops. I would suggest for a new tattoo artist, go get tattooed. That's the cheat code right there. Go in as a client. Most of my apprentices at my tattoo shop I've had a lot of people apprenticed and have started their tattoo career from working at my shop. A lot of artists have started at my shop. So a lot of them, they got started by simply becoming a client, going in there, getting tattooed. You get to know the environment, you get to know the vibe, you get to know the personalities there. And it's such an easy transition because all of a sudden you might be getting tattooed and they might ask, you might bring it up, hey, I actually draw, or I'm actually considering getting into tattooing. They'll usually ask, they'll be the ones to ask the question, well, why don't you apprentice here? And it's just so much easier. The guys already know you. I feel like that's usually the best way to go about it. In the meantime, work on your art, focus on quality over quantity. A lot of times when I look at a portfolio, if somebody walks into my shop wanting an apprenticeship, I'd rather see 10 of your best art pieces, not tattoos, your best art pieces versus, 50 random ones. Mm-hmm. So pick your best of the best, quality over quantity, have a physical portfolio. I know a lot of times for tattoo artists, our Instagram is our tattoo portfolio, but I'd say a physical portfolio is still as important. That's the way that I learned. I used to, bro, when I first I'm self-taught. I was that guy. I had a portfolio. I was going to Orange County in my area. I was going to all the tattoo shops, walking in, and nobody gave me a chance, man. Really? Yeah. I walked in, just talked to people, and I never got an opportunity. Now things might have been different if I would have gone tattooed, if I would have gone the route that I suggested, but that's the reason I went my own route. And bro, when I started, I was ordering DVDs, off of magazines where, you couldn't find a tutorial on YouTube, now you could learn anything on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
But at that time, there was no tattoo content on YouTube at the time. You'd have to learn from people through word of mouth, real life experience, or you'd order from a catalog, and I remember buying like a DVD series on like how to line, how to shade, like $200, 5 DVDs or something. So yeah, that's like a big difference there too.
Wow, dude.
So it's a different time.
How old are you?
I'm 36, bro.
36.
Yeah, 36. Dude. So
damn, you look good, dude.
Hey man, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing this a long time, bro. That's why I'm like, again, with the things that I've done, what's next now? I feel like what's next for me is I want to tattoo like a superstar, I want to tattoo like a LeBron, a Weeknd, a Travis Scott, a Drake. I feel like that's what's next for me. And, I heard you talking about Netflix, man. I feel like we share a similar like dream because that's one of my goals. My goal from day one is a TV show. That's even right at the beginning of tattooing. As soon as I had my tattoo dreams, I had my TV dreams too. So, I don't know if you've seen any of my stuff, but I've posted about how TikTok gave me a grant for $50,000 to invest into my dream project.
Really?
And so currently I'm in the process of shooting a pilot for a TV show that I'm going to be able to pitch out. And one of my goals is, to get it picked up by a network. And it's inspired by my series. I have a series called The Hit List on YouTube where you get to see like a 10-minute vlog episode style of I have an editor that edits these. celebrities. And so I'll tattoo like different celebrities on there. I have an episode with like Blueface, you know, different artists on there. And so I'm basically turning my YouTube series into a real TV series, and that's the vision. I feel like that's one of my next steps. Is I'm trying to get a TV show too, man.
Dude, amazing. I mean, that opens up so many more doors.
Definitely.
Into everything. I mean, there's such a like. I think with all forms of content, there's so many stepping stones to what you're trying to get to that like. There's never an end, you know, like there's this and then that. And then now it makes you wonder like, okay, when you do have the TV show, what's next after that? And the world keeps going, you know, it's cool. I mean, it's the game of life.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. And I feel like, once you scratch off that goal off the list, it's like, it is. Yeah. What's next? And, you know, it's hard to turn it off, man. I feel, again, it's a gift and a curse because there's really no days off. Sure, I might have a day off, but I'm still, like, my wife always gives me a hard time because I'm always working. You know, I'm always sneaking off. I have a home office, so I'll sneak off and I'll go work. And it's like, it's hard because, you know, you get these ideas and you want to stay, you know, you want to stay working, man, but you also have to balance. And I feel like that's one of my hardest things is trying to balance all those things too, right? Being a father, being a husband, you know, being a shop owner, a creator. There's so many things here. So yeah, it's a constant juggle, but it's cool, man. I love it, man. I love the hard times. I love, you know, life's a roller coaster and you got to just trust the struggle, man. I enjoy the grind. And I won't stop. And I feel like a lot of people I love tattooing. I'll tattoo till the day I die, but tattooing has opened up a lot of doors, but it's not my end goal. A lot of people know me for tattooing today, but you know, 5 to 10 years from now, they're going to know me for something else.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen.
Yeah.
Cool. Are we good on time, Armand?
Yeah.
What are we looking at?
We're looking at 1 hour.
Perfect. I mean, I think that's a good place to wrap up.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you coming. That was an amazing conversation. I learned a lot of things that I didn't know. All I knew was this little tattoo I have above my chest. Appreciate you coming. If you guys want to check him out, go let them know. ROCKROLLG on Instagram.
Hey, appreciate you guys, man. I love what you guys are doing here. Super inspired being here, and you know, I wish you guys much love and, you know, success in the near future here, man.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, go check him out. We'll have him linked in the description. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys subscribe, hit the notification bell to make sure you guys see the podcast every single week. My name is Kia. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
See you guys next week. Peace.
Yeah.
Cool,
thank you so much,
dude,
man.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm running on like a few hours of sleep, man.
No.
I wish I had I found myself a